Hey y'all, today we're going to be talking about how to become an expat, how to move abroad. I have done this. I have been an expat since 2016. I see often lots of people asking questions about, they know they want to move out of the US, but they don't know where to start. So I thought, why not put together a series of videos to kind of break down the process, eliminate the mystery. So today we're going to start with my own expat story. But before we do that, welcome back to my channel. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and do that. Hit the notification bell so that you know when the next video in this series is uploaded. So, my expat story. I moved abroad in July 2016. I moved with my 15-year-old daughter and my dog, of course. Why? Well, I'd always wanted to live abroad. Even as a kid, I remember thinking about not loving the United States, and I wanted to live in Canada, and then I found out how cold it was in Canada and had to rethink that whole thing. So I always wanted to move abroad, but life happens. I got married, I had kids, all of that took precedent to my dream of living abroad. But I got divorced in 2015. And decided at that point that this was my second chance at life and I was going to live it the way I wanted and do the things that I always wanted to do. And number one on that list was move abroad. But not only did I always want to move abroad, but after spending 40 years in the United States, I had a real come to Jesus moment when I realized that one medical emergency could bankrupt me, and I didn't like that. So that kind of escalated my country shopping and my looking for a new place to live, because I wanted to live someplace that I could actually afford to go to the doctor, where I could afford medical insurance. Something else, I guess this comes with getting a divorce, but you start to reevaluate everything in your life. And I looked at the disconnect that existed between American culture and what my personal beliefs were. Like this whole idea of the hamster wheel and you got to work to accumulate. I did all that and I wasn't feeling it. So I was like, there has to be more to life than this. So I wanted to move someplace where I could have a better work-life balance. That's really what kind of focused my country shopping. Ultimately, I was able to move abroad because I was already a teacher in the United States. And there is this huge market of international education in countries all around the world where students are taught typical school subjects in the English language, even if that's not the language of their country. So as a certified teacher, that was the easiest way for me to move abroad. And so I leveraged that into a position at a very small international school in Honduras. Honduras was not on my radar because I'm sure none of you have heard of people moving to Honduras, because typically people go the other way. They go to the US. As I started looking for positions, I was very open on country. There was pretty much only one place in the world that I did not want to live, and that was China. Although I did end up living there for a year and a half, but this was later on. So I was pretty open to the idea of a country. But the more I thought about it, I really wanted to learn Spanish. So that then helped me focus my attention. It just so happens that at that time, there was a teacher fair specifically for schools in Latin America, was holding a fair in Houston, like in the next couple of weeks after I had made this decision that I was going to start looking for jobs abroad. Went to that job fair. Literally the first school I spoke to is the school that ultimately ended up hiring me. So, you know, I truly believe that the universe tends to unfold as it should. So I was supposed to go to Honduras. My initial contract in Honduras was for 2 years, but because of some financial issues and some restructuring that had to take place at that school, we parted ways. That's when I initially moved to Mexico. I took a year off to kind of figure out what I wanted to do, to take a break, a sabbatical, if you will. And then I went back to work. Initially, I had accepted a position, another teaching job, because again, that was the easiest way for me to get a work visa. And in another video coming up, we'll talk more in depth about work visas and other visa options. So went back to teaching, got a job in Kuwait. That job turned out to be a disaster. I will also link, there's a lot of stuff that I learned about what not to do and how to choose a school that doesn't suck, because I chose a school that sucked big time. So I will link in the description. I have a free tool. It's like 13 red flags, you know, before you accept an international teaching job. So I'll link that in the description. So I left Mexico, took this job, this disastrous job in Kuwait. It did not work out. And then a job in China opened up. So I ended up moving to China, was there for a year and a half, decided that I was done teaching, and I retired in July of 2020. And I moved back to Mexico in July of 2020. So I retired in June 2020 and I moved back to Mexico. And so that's why I'm here in Mexico now. And I anticipate being in Mexico probably forever, because Mexico is definitely my second home. Do I have any regrets about becoming an expat, moving outside the United States, living abroad? No, I absolutely have no regrets. I sometimes wish that I could have moved abroad earlier, but I kind of fall on the side of things happen when they're supposed to happen. So, you know, we'll just go with that. So no, for me, moving abroad, moving out of the United States has been a really good thing. My quality of life has improved. My work-life balance improved significantly. I've been able to do lots of things that I love. So I have a few tools for you. I've mentioned some of them. So in the description, you will find a link to the book I wrote, The Guide to Teaching Abroad at International Schools. So if you're like me and you are a certified teacher in the United States and you want to use that skill and that ability to help you move abroad, the book will help you do that. I also have a free list of 13 red flags to look out for as you are trying to choose schools. That's completely free. I'll link that below as well. And then I will also link in the description, I have a move abroad checklist that kind of covers all of the topics that you need to think about before you move, in the process of the move, as well as after. Okay, so those will all be in the description. Thank you again for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. And until next time,